Hey guys, what's up? And today I'm going to show you guys how you guys can design like HELLSTAR Part 2. So basically what we're going to redesign is this really popular HELLSTAR hoodie. It has this really vibrant, big HELLSTAR logo with a bunch of flames around it, and I'm going to show you guys how you guys can recreate that, maybe as your own inspiration for your own clothing brand. So I just want to apologize in advance for the bad voice quality. I currently do not have a mic, so just bear with me here. So without further ado, let's get into this tutorial. So basically, first, what I'm going to do is start off with this basic HELLSTAR text font here. And basically what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to select the paintbrush and kind of edit or kind of erase part of the text to give it this kind of weathered distress effect. I saw that on the actual HELLSTAR design that there's a like kind of like a distressing on it, and I thought that this was pretty cool to add. So we're just gonna continue to do that for all the letters here. All right, now what we're gonna do here is basically we're just gonna make the background red just to, make it kind of color accurate. And then now we're just gonna mask in all of this like transparent part on the text black because in the actual design it's kind of like a black interior, so to speak. So I'm just going to go ahead and take the paintbrush tool and fill in all these areas. So now what I'm going to do here is just take the eclipse tool and just mask out like kind of like an oval shape and then drag that behind the HELLSTAR logo. So basically in the actual design, there's kind of like this oval kind of shape around it that has all the flames attached to it. So I'm just going to show you guys how to do that and then we'll start the flames later. So we're just going to make the background a beige, which is like what it is on the actual design. And then I'm just going to throw on this little weathered texture because on the actual HELLSTAR design, it's like kind of distressed in the middle. So we're just going to throw that on and put a mask. So basically how I do that, I just go to the select the color and then 80/20 for the settings and then mask out all the black or the white by or I mean all the black by just clicking that mask tool at the bottom next to the layer button. I'm just kind of just gonna put it to where I really want it, and about here looks pretty good. So now it didn't capture my other window of me putting the changes or the effects on the or like selecting the blackout. But in my first HELLSTAR video, it shows you how to do that. So if you want to go over to that video, you can check that out. Sorry, y'all, but I'm working with what I got right now. So right now, this looks pretty good right now. And I'm just gonna make it a little bit smaller than the actual like stroke of the circle. I honestly like that a little bit more. So, alright, so for the flames, I got this little vector pack off of Google. If you look up vector flames, this should be one of the first things that pops up. I'm not too sure on the licensing and whatnot, but use at your own risk. I'm just gonna choose this one to start off. And I'm just gonna kind of resize it, put it where I really want it, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and resize it here, make it a little bit wider and taller. I think about there is pretty good. And I'm just gonna duplicate it and do it to the other side. I'm kind of trying to go around here just so I can duplicate it around because you're not really gonna notice it if it is duplicated. And I'm just gonna duplicate them and then flip them like that, boom. And now I'm just gonna do that for the rest of them. I'm gonna turn them a beige color because in the actual design they're all the same color. And I'm just gonna go now and just change the HELLSTAR text to that beige just to fix it. And in the meantime, what I'm going to do here really quickly is just kind of take the eraser tool with the opacity brush, like the opacity way down, and then just kind of erase the areas, give it a little bit more of that distress because it's too little too perfect right now. So as you can see, I'm just kind of playing around with it, seeing what works. And then I'm just going to change the blending mode to dissolves just so it like, gives it that yeah, it gives it that desired effect. I don't really know how to explain it, but it gives us basically this effect because there's no opacity and it shows it only as pixels that are erased. I'm just going to take in the vector pack again here and then just choose some other ones. You can kind of do this however you want, so I'm just going to quickly do this real quick. So I'm just going to add a stroke to all the flames, as you can see here. Gives it a little bit more definition against the red background, and then the actual HELLSTAR design, it has a black stroke to it. And then now for the records text, I'm just going to try and find a font here. I eventually get to this font about right here, which I like, very simple. You can kind of just play around with it. As you can see here, I'm just playing around with it, making sure that it fits and stuff and whatnot. So now this step is kind of optional. I'm just playing around with the textures, seeing like what would look good on this records text. I eventually just opt out and don't do a text or effect anyways. So what I'm doing now is just putting that texture onto the flames, and then I'm just going to mask out the HELLSTAR text and the records because those are actually clean. So I'm just gonna command select the preview button and then just erase it from the actual texture layer, and it should be clean. I'm just being stingy here and just testing out what looks better, just warping the flames and whatnot. You can kind of do whatever you like with this. I'm just erasing kind of the smaller details that show on like inside of the oval, just to make it a little bit more cleaner. I don't like how the texture eventually came out on the records. It looked weird to me, so I eventually just took it off and decided to keep it textureless like the HELLSTAR text. So what I'm doing now is just taking a blank mockup or hoodie mockup that I have, just changing it red, and now we're going to just put on the first design on the front. I'm just going to group it all together because it should be already color separated, so we can just go ahead and drag and drop to see what we are working with. Now I'm just going to resize it to the actual hoodie here. I think about there is good, maybe a little bigger. Yeah, because on the actual hoodie you can see that it's actually an oversized print, so we're just gonna make that a little bit bigger. And then you see how it's kind of over the sleeves, like kind of overlapping it. We're just gonna go and put a mask and then just erase that quick and simple. And that is the first design. So for the second right arm sleeve, we're just going to take the HELLSTAR text from our original design and then just flip it vertically like that. Pretty simple. Move it off to the right a little bit. And I'm just gonna go ahead and look for a font here. I was gonna use this font, but I ended up having trouble with like how it looked, and eventually I just kind of just scrapped it. So I found this kind of cool little retro font that kind of matched what was on the HELLSTAR design. I'm just playing around with the character distance. So I think this was good here, and then I just kind of duplicated it to give it that 3D effect. Here I'm just resizing it. And then I just turn the original text red and then add a stroke to it. And boom, there we go. It kind of looks like how it is on the HELLSTAR. We're just going to resize it really quickly. And boom. Now, the rest is pretty straightforward. I'm just kind of playing around with this, but eventually what we're going to do here is just flip it vertically and kind of align it underneath the big HELLSTAR text. As we do so here. I'm just going to put that behind the HELLSTAR logo and then kind of angle that and resize it to my liking. And that's good for the right arm sleeve design. So we're just going to go ahead and bring that on over to the hoodie mockup template or the mockup and then slap that onto the right sleeve. Now we're just going to keep these in groups in the actual original document so we can just bring them up whenever we please. I'm just resizing it right now and it doesn't have a texture on it already, which we should have put it on there before, but for the sake of the tutorial, it doesn't really matter. So we're just going to go ahead and take that texture and just drag and drop it right over the design. Now we're just going to set that to multiply and then just resize the texture over the actual design. I'm just kind of just going to mask out a little bit of it just so it's not so harsh like that. And boom, we're done with the right arm sleeve design. So now we're going to make the right or the left sleeve design, which is basically just two flames and then their HELLSTAR logo. So I like this flame because I think this flame matches pretty well. I'm just going to resize it and I'm just going to duplicate it here and then turn it beige and stuff. I'm just going to like quickly experiment with how I'm going to do that really quickly off to the side. And I'm just going to turn it beige here. And actually what I want to do is make the beige inside transparent. So I'm just going to change that to the same color as the background document, which is also the same color of the hoodie. At the end, you can actually just take the magic eraser tool and just rasterize the layer, and then, or if the layer is not already rasterized, just rasterize it and then just select it and delete it, and you'll still have that beige layer, that beige stroke. So now basically what I'm going to do here is just reapply that stroke onto the flame. Now that we have them both in the wanted areas. And boom, now we have the first stroke, and then we can just apply that same stroke to the other layer. And now we have our double flame kind of effect here. It's not perfected, just for the sake of the tutorial. We'll just keep it like this. And you can kind of make it bigger, move it around a little bit. I'm kind of just playing around with it right now. So I think about this is pretty good. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete the other black flame as I already have my beige ones ready. And I'm just going to recenter that. I'm actually going to go ahead and group the two just so it's easier to move them around and whatnot. And I'm just going to quickly duplicate it and then vertically, yeah. And then horizontally change it because then it gives it that like difference effect in a way, like on the hoodie. I'm just gonna make it a little bit smaller because there wasn't actually enough room to put the HELLSTAR logo in. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and look for a HELLSTAR logo. So I found this on Google, and I'm just gonna basically remove the black and then copy and paste that HELLSTAR logo. Then I'm gonna go ahead and add a color overlay of a like kind of like a beige color. Now, yeah, the flame was looking a little bit skinny, so I just made it a little bit fatter, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and group all of the layers. And boom, now we have our left hand or left sleeve design here. Now, when you're getting ready to put this all onto a t-shirt or whatnot, and like getting ready to prepare the files, just go ahead and select the magic brush tool, magic brush wand, and then just yeah, make that smaller, or I mean, remove the red on the design and whatnot. So I'm just gonna resize the HELLSTAR logo here, and boom. Now basically what we're gonna do is just do the same thing as we did for the other sleeve with that texture. I'm just gonna plop it right over it, just to make it a little bit more presentable. And boom, now you have your finished HELLSTAR Records 3 design hoodie. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I had a lot of fun making it, and I know you guys have been really looking forward to another video. So once again, sorry about the bad mic quality, but in the future, for future videos, it will be fixed. So here's the finished product, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much.